All right, good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. As I told everybody in the email yesterday, we're pleased to be joined by our Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics, Dr. Lisa Campos. So we'll take questions for her first, and then Coach Traylor for the rest of the half hour. JJ?
Lisa, can you just kind of tell us the emotions that were flowing through the department, the last week or so, and specifically yesterday when you guys made this announcement?
Pure excitement and joy. What we've been through over the last few weeks, from being nationally ranked for the first time in program history to conference realignment to being able to solidify Coach being our coach for years to come. This program, this department, the staff, the coaches, other coaches could not be more excited. They understand the importance of football. They understand how that helps their programs, how it's going to help continue to elevate the entire athletics department. So the amount of messages and phone calls I received from folks within our department was overwhelming these last few days, and particularly yesterday.
Was there a sense of urgency to get Jeff's contract extended this week, or had that been the plan all along?
Jeff and I had talked about this over the summer. As I said before, that I don't have a crystal ball, but I believe in Jeff and his staff, and knew that this was going to be an incredible season. I couldn't have anticipated an undefeated season thus far, because we know that wins are very, very hard to come by. But we knew that it was going to be a really special season. So I said, Jeff, I don't want to be thinking about this in November, December. We need to really be thinking about this September, October, and had an opportunity to meet with his agents. And so we knew all along we wanted to move forward with his contract. But then obviously what was unfolding last week, we wanted to eliminate the distractions for his team. You all know Jeff, he thinks about his team first and foremost. And that was maybe the sense of urgency last week, was just to put that to bed for his team.
Greg?
Lisa, as you guys were going through this process, what were the biggest things you wanted to emphasize or make sure showed up in a new contract?
Yeah, a couple of things. Obviously, the commitment by both sides, right? That we want Jeff to be here for a long time, and we want to demonstrate that we're very committed to him. So that was really important. We recognize going into the American, we need to make an investment in his staff and in his assistant coaching pool. And as you can imagine, Jeff is very selfless, and that was the last thing he talked to me about was, and his agents talked to me about was his personal situation. But he's worth it. He has a value that's up in the American Conference, and knowing that we're going to make that move, it was really important to also address his personal situation.
It seems like he was willing to make a little bit less than he might make somewhere else just for the opportunity to continue building this program and staying here. What kind of message does that send to you, and how does that sort of change the importance of keeping him?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, just knowing Jeff and how he's committed to his players and to this university. I think it also demonstrates that, this community and this department's been very good to him, and we're both in this together. And with the president, that I'll go back to 2 years ago when we were interviewing Jeff, and we just always talked about, from the president to the AD to the head football coach, all have to be in alignment. And I think Jeff feels that here. He knows that that's what's happening. And so again, it just shows a commitment by both the university and by him.
Chris?
Yeah, Lisa, how much did the move to the American help what you guys were able to offer Jeff? Obviously, you talked about expanding the athletic budget as well down the road. I mean, how much does that play a role in terms of kind of what the final contract was?
Tremendous role. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this if we weren't moving into the American, and the revenue stream coming from the American is the reason why we were able to do this.
And what has been the reaction from donors and people like that in wake of the conference move, and what that means for the athletic department and Jeff moving forward?
Our donors, our community, they are continuing to step up, from whether it's, again, just promoting us, whether it's giving an extra donation. We have new folks. Last night, as I was trick-or-treating with my kid, just everyone I ran into said, listen, we're all buying tickets to the next games. This is something special going on. So the community feels it, and it's really fun to witness that and to be a part of that. And so it's just been huge what Jeff's been able to do, bring national exposure to this university, but to see the city also stepping up has been really fun.
And going back to when you hired Jeff, 2 years ago, what stood out the most? What made you believe he was going to be the right guy for the job?
That's a great question. There's a lot of things. I've shared with folks that, and I'm not kidding, it was within the first, 5 to 7 minutes of him coming into that interview that Jeff and I had an immediate connection. I don't know if he'll say the same thing, but for me, I just felt like we had a real immediate connection. And we talk about this all the time, that we need more people like a Jeff Traylor coaching 18 to 22-year-olds. I always talk about it. I got into higher education because of my background. I want to have a positive impact on 18 to 22-year-olds as I had mentors in my undergraduate experience. And Jeff and I are about the same things. And it is not just about football. We're excited that we're 8-0, but it's more than that. And if you can, you've had an opportunity to spend time and be around him as he leads his students, that came out so much in that interview. Then, that was number one. Then obviously just the respect he has across Texas and really nationally, that we knew he was going to be a great fit for UTSA because of his Texas connections, the respect that people have for him. And then he knows how to develop a staff, and he knows how, obviously how to coach, but also how to develop his staff and let them do their thing as well.
And what was that like yesterday, announcing that to the team and the reaction there?
It was amazing to see the reaction. I had no doubt that was going to be the reaction. It's funny. I might have drawn it out a little bit that I don't know what they thought I was going to say, but it was just total elation in that room. And it just speaks a lot to Jeff and how those guys feel about him.
All right, we've got two more for Lisa, then we'll move on to Jeff. Greg?
Lisa, this deal puts Jeff at or near the top of the new AAC. Was that important for you guys, or a goal that you set just to sort of have that benchmarking to be at the top of the league and show that you're willing to make that commitment at that level?
Yeah, absolutely. We need to continue investing in staff and coaches, just like Jeff, who again are in alignment with the things that we're trying to do. And again, this move, it's really big for us to go into the American, and we need to commit and grow. And get the support to do that. So yes, it was important to, we always want to be competitive in the league that we're in, or that obviously we're going into.
And how did you have to weigh sort of the burden it might put on the department if at some point during this 10-year period, you guys decide to move on for whatever reason? Did you have to sort of think about the impact that could have, or ways to minimize potential issues there?
Are you talking about the if Jeff were to leave?
Well, the other way around. If you guys were to decide to move on for whatever reason, and the impact.
You know what, Greg? I don't even worry about that. You know what, Jeff? If people haven't figured out Jeff's a winner, to be around him, he is relentless. He's a competitor. He prepares the team. He prepares his staff. I have no doubt. Again, we would not have been having the conversations this summer if I didn't see something in Jeff and we didn't believe in what he can do. And I just don't want him to kill himself doing this, because he works so hard. He goes into every game so prepared. He, again, is just so competitive. And then on top of that, he's doing this while building these young men into just incredible individuals.
Hey, Nick.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Lisa Campos. I
Morning.
wanted to ask you about Betty Cerna. I know just a week or two ago you just hired her, and man, with the fan engagement on social media and everything going, I just wanted to get your thoughts a little bit more of the hire and about her and just about the position.
Absolutely. Yeah. Betty's a rock star. People in the industry may be scratching their head that we went a non-traditional route. But if people know me, I do like doing things non-traditional from time to time. And Betty has an incredible background and experience in marketing. She has corporate experience with AT&T, running her own business. And when we had conversations, she's like, okay, like she knew she's going to have a bit of a learning curve with athletics. She is tremendously smart. I said, Betty, you're going to figure this out very quickly, what athletics is about. And she does. She puts everything into her work, and she's has great relationships across this city. So she's going to do some great things for this department.